Okay. Let's see how my voice sounds first. Yeah, okay. I can do this. Let's scroll up for questions. Ugh. First off, let's join 4th and 2.
Select the team you want to join. Start your season with recommended settings. If you wish to change roles or adjust options, use the tiles on the left.
We'll do Team Builder. Why not? Well, let me do Faggot Wonka. God damn it. Q will work. Oh, that way we let some people join. Yep, a night after 3.5 hours of sleep, throwing up 4,000 times. We got this. Ain't nothing gonna stop this podcast. We rolling. Welcome in the whopping 2 people. Watch, we normally get more than this. I did tell people it probably wasn't going to happen, so. Well, let's get into some of these questions. Where did it all go wrong in Buffalo after that 12-4 season during season 1? That is an excellent question. I wish I could, look back on all that stuff. That'd be pretty dope. To be honest, where it went downhill is I think all the other, you look at a guy like Wheezy, he finally turned his stuff around after a down season 1. So a mix of other teams just getting better and improving. Jags back to, respectable record. Jets made the playoffs season 2. They got better. So just other teams getting better. And then overall, just in general, lack of offensive production. Okay. When did the Cowboys flunk math? Ugh. Yeah, that was a trade that I was just kind of like, whatever. People yell at me for denying trades, so why not accept this one? Playoff predictions. Ooh, that'll be a good one. We'll start in the NFC. Packers, Eagles. That'll be a good race. I think those will probably be the 2 teams that end up with their buys. Falcons, Saints will compete for that 3 and 5 seed. Panthers in for that 6 seed. And then Niners, Cardinals in for the 4 seed, 3 seed, 5, 6. So basically you're going to look at these top teams here. Packers will win the North. Eagles will win the East. Cardinals or 49ers will win the West. One of these 3 teams will win the South. And then you're left between, like, say, for example, in this example, we'll go Falcons and 49ers win it just because they're technically higher up on the rank. So then you'd have Falcons at the 3 seed, 49ers at the 4, and then you'll have Saints, Panthers, Cardinals competing for the 5th and 6th seeds. So those are pretty much it. There will be one of those top 7 teams that get left out. On the AFC side, so my prediction, I guess. I'll go Packers 1, Eagles 2. I'll go Falcons 3, Cardinals 4, Saints 5, 49ers 6. Why not? We'll go there. Although Panthers will probably end up getting it, but gotta have faith. For the AFC side, you didn't miss anything. You missed me sounding like shit. AFC side, Pats, Bengals, Titans will all be compete, and Browns in a way will compete for those top 3 seeds there. Mainly for, I should say, top 2 seeds. Browns, Titans already lost to New England, so they have, and I think Browns beat Bengals. So I'm gonna go with Pats 1, Browns 2, Titans 3. AFC West, we'll go Chiefs 4, they'll make it in. Then Bengals 5. And I'm going to go Jaguars 6. I don't know what their schedule is, but they're playing solid football. So that's my playoff prediction so far for what I'm leaning. Discord making me scroll all the way back up. Best trade deadline. I don't even really remember the trade deadline moves, honestly. Why did the Titans kick the field goal to tie the game? That's a great question. Is Shokan a sexy Lord Farquaad? Oh, yeah, of course. Will this podcast actually happen? Asks Tolgs. Fuck off, Tolgs. It's here, bitch. Which coach will be... Oh, that's right. So, just talking about the coaching thing we're looking... Now, obviously, if they give us this coaching carousel in Madden... What's next year? Is it going to be 21 next year? Yeah, 21 next year. I'm too sick to remember what Madden we're on. If we get to 21, owner mode's legit. You get, or GM mode, whatever you want to change it to, and you can hire a coach, a coordinator, good staff that, you can kind of do it now, but just more of like a skills tree. Then obviously we'd scratch it and go with that as long as theirs is good. But assuming, and I think we should all assume that won't happen because, Madden, they don't care about franchise. We're going to have it where there's going to be, say, for example, 50 head coaching choices, 50 offensive coordinators, 50 defensive coordinators, and we'll add a few here and there as well. Like, hey, there's a big up-and-coming college coach. He just, won 11 games, had 4 players go into the NFL draft pool. You can negotiate him if you want, stuff like that. And they're going to get minor perks to just kind of build on, adding a few playbook adjustments, a free camp here and there, working on some traits, just some small stuff to, add a little depth to our coaching carousel. But that's really all that we have for coaching stuff. You can see in that league poll area, just kind of like some examples. And those, obviously each one has their counterpart on offense and defense. There's not an overpowered side. There's not one's better than the other. I just kind of picked some ones so you could see different ones. I don't think, all right, hey, we're going to show 4 on offense, playbook adjustment, this, and then have the exact same ones on defense. I just want to show you guys some variety. So, yeah. Let me get some water quick. Here's a hypothetical. This is from Pixie. Let's say you are terrible at everything, including play call. Would it be better to rely on defensive talent or offensive talent? I'm going to say defensive talent because generally, on offense, it all runs through you. As the quarterback, you have to make the read, throw the pass, decide which hole you're going to hit in the run game. Are you going to be good at stick skills for juking? Are you going to be, good in terms of play calling, game planning, scheming? That's one thing about Madden that I'll say that I enjoy a ton and why I put a ton of emphasis into my offense is in our league, for example, what you do on offense, whether it's your scheme, your playbook wise, it does require effort. You can't just half-ass it and be like, all right, hey, I'm just going to show up to my game and play and win. That's really not how it works. You have to be thinking about these things. And then after this, we're going to go kind of about, down and distance stuff. But basically, offense requires you to be more practical and logical in thinking, whereas defense, yeah, it obviously now, especially in real life, it requires so much stuff. In Madden for defense, all you have to understand is kind of what the coverages do, and then you're fine. You can always just use your defensive lineman and just let the back 7, back 8, back 6, how many ever, if you're bringing 3, 4, or 5 for a man rush, you can just kind of let the back end play out. So obviously it's better to just rely on defense because if you get a great back 4 for your secondary, solid slot corner, some good coverage off ball linebackers, or whatever type of linebackers you want, get a few decent defensive linemen, use your defensive linemen, you'll have better success than if you just have a good offense and you don't know what to do with it. Unless you just have a massive mauling offensive lineman, you can just run halfback dive. So defense by far is the easiest way to just, have talent on and be better. Thoughts on the real Super Bowl and who do I have? I have the 49ers. For me, I personally don't care who wins the Super Bowl. Really, for me, it all comes down to, do I think the Chiefs can play an absolutely perfect game on offense where Mahomes throws 70, plus completion percentage, 400 yards, 3-4 touchdowns, maybe run for a touchdown, no picks, no fumbles, clean pocket, not many sacks? Or do I trust the 49ers who can probably play a little sloppier, grind the clock, get after Mahomes with 4? That's kind of where I'm leaning. And I think the front 4 for San Francisco can just be dominant and wreak havoc this game. I can see either team. I can see Kansas City winning 45-10. I can see San Francisco winning 45-10. I can see this game being 38-41 off a last-second field goal, touchdown, whatever. I can also see this game being under 28-24, being a lot lower scoring than people expect, just because that 49ers rushing offense is going to kill that clock. They're going to go into that game. Mahomes, I think the Chiefs, they average 11 to 12 possessions a game. The 49ers are going to go in there, okay, let's get them to 8. They're going to get 8 possessions on offense. If they can do that and the 49ers can execute on their offensive drives, that's going to be tough for Mahomes and the Chiefs in general to have 8 drives where you're scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns. They can do it, but it's just tough for me to imagine that. So that's why I have the 49ers. How did the Redskins go from winning the Superb Owl to being 3-5? I think they're 4-5 now, and then 4-6 because I think they lost to the Saints. Say they're 4-6 now. So honestly, it just comes down to Bobby's back on his A game this season. The run game's not working for him as well. I mean, it's not atrocious and a disaster. God, look at this. Tanner Morgan's still second in touchdowns, and he hasn't played 3 games. Rip. Where are the Redskins? Haskins is throwing turnovers extremely high. That rating's a lot lower compared to where he was last year. Last season, 37-23 with 4,300 yards. That his passer ratings dropped by 27, points. Completion percentage down significantly. So the pass game is really struggling. They're turning the ball over at a higher rate, and that ground game just isn't what it was. Bryce Love was hurt, really hasn't played much. He was averaging almost 10 yards a carry last season, if not over 10 yards a carry. I don't remember what it was. We'll look here. 9 yards a carry last year. So that's insane. And then Geis, he's not having a bad year, but the touchdowns are way down. 15, 19, now 9. So definitely just not having a good year. Take a guess as to what will be the big improvement to Madden 21. Now, Nick, I think you're still watching. I assume by this you mean franchise mode, correct? Because I don't think we give a shit about MUT or anything, but I'm sure their best and biggest feature will definitely be MUT. For franchise, I've been kind of like thinking back and forth. First off, what I want, if I were to be the CEO of EA Sports or whoever their fucking parent company is, I don't know who, like 2K, they're owned by Take-Two, who's owned by someone else. So, it comes back, like 5 companies own everything. So, whatever, if I were in charge of EA, simple as I would demand a franchise overhaul, and there's like 5 or 6 key things I'd add first. First one, I'd overhaul the scouting system because it is just horrible. I'd just get rid of it, make a new one. Second one would be a coaching staff, a coaching tree. More improve that. Second one, I would get rid of owner mode and replace it with GM mode. No one cares about increasing the price of popcorn. Let us hire scouts, work with, a scouting team, work with a training staff, work with coaches for game planning. So you can just tweak some things. I would also like to add where you can have like a playbook creator, editor in franchise and kind of build it for this team, like do like legit game plan, just kind of expand that feature for franchise. And then I'd expand contract negotiations, whether that's in-season, off-season, holdouts, players demanding for trades if you franchise tagging them, or being like, hey, I'm not playing unless you give me this fat extension. Something like that. Okay, but now I see here, I mean just the big selling point. Like this year was RPOs. I've thought about that a little bit. I'm like, okay, RPOs were huge. I'm not too sure what they can add now. Like, obviously we're going to get more abilities. I'm sure it's going to be some shit around that. God. It's tough it's one of those things where I sit there and give the devs shit for, not putting emphasis into franchise, but to think of these, now RPOs is kind of an obvious thing to think of. It's a huge part of football. I would like to think, because we're getting that split cycle deal where it's PS4 and then we're going to get Madden 21 on the PlayStation 5, Xbox, whatever the fuck the new one's called, Xbox 7000, something bullshit like that no one cares about. I think that's where you're going to be getting big features, and it's going to be a lot of physics, animations, graphics. We added 400 new animations to receive. I would love that. I would love to overhaul the trench play on both sides of the ball. I would also love to get, just more realistic adjustments on the line of scrimmage. I shouldn't have to playbook, kind of in a way. I shouldn't have all these cluttered playbooks and bullshit. I'd love to see a huge playbook adjustment too. I just want more like realistic, small adjustments gameplay wise. So overall, it's going to be something that none of us really care about, I'm sure. Opinion of the most important attribute, not abilities, obviously, for Madden players at each position. Well, let's go through them. We'll kind of look at my players. For quarterback, it's throw under pressure for me. The reason Tanner Morgan was so dominant, and I mean, I've done well with Mason Rudolph. My offense can play well with anyone. But when you have a quarterback with a 92 throw under pressure, you're getting so many resist pressures unless you have a superstar that, causes inaccurate passes off of pressure. Just he'll sit in the pocket. There's 2 guys in his face, and he'll just launch that thing 30 yards. So to me, quarterback, absolutely throw under pressure. Running back, I think it's break tackle, because when you have a higher break tackle, you'll get so no, that's not true actually. Looking at I thought Justin Jackson had an 82. I'll say you need to get the elusiveness and juke move in the threshold to have those good juke animations. So a combination of those two, and then break tackle is another good one as well for me, just so you can get more of those fall forward animations. Fullbacks aren't people. Wide receiver, absolutely without question, to me, it's release. To beat press, get off the ball, or off the line of scrimmage. In this Madden, at least. Previous Maddens, I'd always say it was like spec or catch in traffic. Yeah, Nick, here you go. Here's N'Keal Harry. 95, 96, 97, 92, 94 jumping. The guy you can just throw a go route to, and he's going to come down with it, 6 out of 10 times. And then for me as well, I also want them to be in that juking threshold for run after the catch, scenarios. Tight end for me is catch in traffic. Release is another good one too, for sure. But mainly catch in traffic, just because they're going to get a lot more of those linebacker and safety contact animations than most players. N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry has just developed. I don't know how far we can go back. Yeah, you can't go that far back, but just every single time he gets upgrades, just like there's got to be more than one here. I guess I have an upgrade. He'll get an upgrade here as well, but he just gets so many good upgrades. Now, he's obviously helped with a good morale being boosted, but he has all the, catch things. He fights for yards. He has a high motor, keeps his feet in bounds, doesn't drop passes. And he's a big physical wide receiver, too. So, yeah, he's good. Offensive linemen. Offensive linemen are run block finesse. Just because you can get better. To me, offensive line doesn't matter in this game. Just for the fact if you can have bums playing good. The trenches are just horrible. I want run block finesse because I run so many inside zone, outside zone, zone read plays. So, yeah. Defensive ends, I want block shedding because of how OP the run game is. I want block shedding. Now, obviously, if you have a superstar pass rusher like Chase Winovich, you want him to get into that 90-plus threshold for power moves so he can get the super wins. But I also like block shed just so they can shed blocks. Same with defensive tackles. Linebacker, for me, again, it's block shed. I need guys to get off their blocks because they're already so bad at doing it. Defensive backs press, just because you can cheese press anyone in the game. So, most definitely press. Because if Gilmore had 0 abilities, he's going to get cooked by a 77 overall. Even with a 98-man coverage. Safeties suck. So, I don't know, maybe hit power, just so he can get some fumbles. Catching, I don't know. Safeties just are terrible. Kicker, kick power. Punter, kick power. There are my draft picks. Okay. Favorite Kobe moment. Okay, so my favorite Kobe moment, obviously, to me, it's his final game. That was I remember exactly where I was. I remember what I was doing. I remember just, I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm not a huge Laker fan. I like them more because LeBron's my favorite player. So now, it sucked that he went to the Lakers because I can't root for the Lakers, but I root for LeBron, so I want LeBron to have success. But that was one of the only times that I remember actually wanting the Lakers to win. I'm getting out of my seat to just be excited for Kobe because I wanted him to go out that way. So his last game to me is my favorite. I'm 23, so Kobe, basically from when I was born, because I was born in 96, I think he entered the league in like 97. So my entire life growing up, I saw Kobe. I missed, the Shaq era. And I was younger and not the biggest into basketball when they won back to back with Pau Gasol. So I kind of saw him when I got really into basketball was the latter part of his career when he was kind of just horrible after the Achilles injury. So that's my favorite Kobe moment. But I enjoyed Kobe Bryant watching him, his highlights. It's a shame that I didn't get to see more of him. Whereas LeBron, I saw more of LeBron. Right about the first basketball game I ever remember was him with the Cavaliers in the first time, his first go around against the Celtics in the playoffs when the Big Three in Boston ran him out, and then he ended up going to Miami. So, yeah. Um, Brady destinations. I The more and more I think about it, the more I think he's honestly going back to New England. Um, I'd like to see him with the Colts. I don't really want to see him with the Chargers because that O line is horrible. But the Chargers I could see. The Chargers, the Colts, those are the two likely destinations if he leaves, plus staying in New England. I think those are going to be the three teams intact. Cam destination. I really don't know, honestly. Um, because his contract, that's the thing too with how contracts work, especially for quarterbacks. When Cam signed his mega deal, 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was, everyone's like, "Holy cow, that's a lot of money." Now I think he's only going to make 24 million this year, 22 million, which when you look at what all the other quarterbacks are making, that's a pretty big bargain and a steal to me. Same with a guy Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. After Mahomes gets paid, you're going to look at those guys and be like, holy shit, they're really underpaid. Carson Wentz will be that way. Dak will be that way. Because the bar just keeps going higher. Every new quarterback contract, it goes up. Mahomes might get 40 million a year. And then you're going to look at any quarterback making under 30 as in like, oh my God. It's why Kirk Cousins at the time, people are like, oh, fully guaranteed contract, 3 years, 29 million a year. That looks great right now. 3 years, you're done with him after next year if you don't want him. And he's making under $30 million a year at quarterback when quarterbacks are making way over that now. So with Cam, I can see Chicago. No, I can't even see Chicago. I, honest to God, don't know of many places he can go. I could see him in Miami, potentially. I could see him with a team like the Chargers, maybe. Raiders. Raiders are kind of that type of team. But I just don't see Cam having many places to go. Now, if Cam becomes that MVP form, which he won't, then I'm sure there's going to be 20-some teams wanting him. Phillip Rivers, I think if Tom Brady leaves, I think they'd go after him, potentially. Rivers is kind of in a state of Cam where he's old, he's accident prone, he's a turnover machine. I just don't really see a good spot for him. Maybe the Colts, because they have a really good offensive line, a good play caller. I just really don't see a ton of places for Rivers or Cam. Do the Giants make the playoffs? No. In Madden, obviously not real life, because in real life, bigger no. Giants are, 4-5, and they're a few games. They're not going to win the division, so they'd have to catch up like 3 games to get in the position of a wild card. So no. Who will lead the league in rushing yards? Bobby stat padding. Aaron Jones will absolutely lead it. Well, those are kind of all the questions. Yeah. Now, I guess we can talk about... I said we'd talk about down and distance. We'll do that for a few minutes before I get off, just because I'm not feeling great. Nike Vapor Edge. Nobody cares. Why? Now, I get why. Like, I don't really care when they add new equipment. That's kind of cool. But really, this is what you're doing during the season? Like, you can't have them work on it for next Madden and just add a bunch of shit to next Madden and put those devs into, like, franchise? Okay. So, when I go into a game, a few things that I eliminate are shot plays. There's a couple of them, but I don't take shot plays. I'm not a team that on 2nd and 1 you're going to see me play action heave it down the field, because play action sucks. So, yeah, there's a few modifications. So, on 1st and 10, say it's 0-0, first drive. I generally script some plays, but 1st and 10, I just want to come up with a base concept, you know. Let's kind of run some stuff up against nickel.
Set, ready, 60 orange.
Cover 0. Sweet. We'll go all the way back inside my 25. We'll go to the 25. So 1st and 10, I just got the opening kickoff. Doesn't really matter who I'm playing in a sense of this. This is just kind of some brief stuff. But, you know, obviously if I'm playing, say, Playa, I'm going to have a completely different approach than, say, if I'm playing Pixie. You know, my game plan for Pixie is going to be different than Nick, than Kia, than Playa, than Proto, than Shiloh, than Wonka. You know, each person I'm going to have to tailor it to. So on 1st and 10, I want to come out, just do something nice and simple. You know, an inside zone here is nice and simple to get it started. An RPO, God, all these plays suck. Well, not suck, but I wouldn't call them on 1st and 10. This is kind of a red zone. This is the play Tanner Morgan got hurt on. So right here, I know it's something like cover 0. So we'll kind of ignore that. I'm going to know right here I'm either going to hit Howard or Kittle. So that's one other thing, just kind of reading coverages. But here I want to come out and I want to slowly implement my game plan. If I'm going to be very run heavy, then I want to establish that ground game right away. I want to show, hey, I'm not going to be intimidated by your defensive front, by your user, whatever. I just want to go out here and just smash the football. So, I'm going to call something here. Gain nothing. So, I'm like, all right, well, shit, 2nd and 10. I'm going to probably get a little more spread out here. Whether, like, if I'm like, okay, I want to still run it on 2nd down. This drive I'm just kind of getting a feel. So I'm like, all right, let's run a spread inside zone. You know, why not? And just to see if I get a numbers advantage. Well, right here I'm looking at the box at 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, 5 offensive linemen blocking with 6 defensive players in that box there. 3 interior D linemen, 2 outside backers, and then a mic. So I know right here, okay, I have to get out of this, so I'm still going to just basically make an extended run for the pass game. I'm just going to do a quick pass, try and get someone into space, get into 3rd and manageable. That's what I'm looking for here. I don't want 3rd and 10. I don't want 3rd and 15. I want 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. So, just throw it. God, deflection. So, now in this instant here, I'm 3rd and long. So, first drive of the game, just something nice and easy like a screen, something where I'm just going to try and get into a playmaker's hands, see if they can pick it up on 3rd and 10. So we'll need to get to the 35, and we do. We pick up a first. So there we go. Now we got 1st and 10 from the left hash. We'll say just the 35. Just make it simple. Okay. Took me 3 plays to do that. Now, if I still want to establish the ground game, say, because I'm a spread team, so I'll be running a lot of spread formations. I'm seeing here I got a light box. I'm going to check to a run, just see if I can pick up a few yards, because I don't want to be in 2nd and 10. And there's press, so I'm not going to get any quick slant animations, nothing. So let me see if I can pick up 3, 4, 5 yards. And I pick up 6 or 7. You know, he got down 1 yard shy, but whatever. So we'll say it's 3rd and 4. Or sorry, 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4, I have my whole playbook open again. I can kind of run whatever I want. If I want to, I can say take a shot down the field with a post, a corner, an out. Something like this here is something I could take advantage of and just see, hey, If I don't like what I see deep, I can just check it down here to Dorsett and see if he can just get me in a first or third and whatever. Because I'm looking to get to the 45. So I see here, okay, I just have Dorsett. Take the free yards. Bring me down to the right hash. I'm inside the opponent's territory already. So right hash at the 45. Now I'm thinking here, okay, now we need to just get into field goal range. It's 1st and 10. I have most of the playbook open. They're kind of stacking the box. I want to see another 2 tight end set, but I don't like all that compression. So whether or not you just want them to run, you know, just a regular hitch route, which it's not going to let me in this, because that route's going to be just dog shit. So we can just do like a smoke screen, whatever, or an in route, something like that. So we'll go in route. I just want to run something here. Now, I'm not going to call this because cover 3's, you know, whatever. So I'm like, all right, you know, I really don't like, I wouldn't call this play. 1st and 10. This is what I'm going to do here. Perfect. Now, for me, I want to play a little more conservative in a sense of I want to try and just get inside the 35-yard line so I can be in field goal range. Something here, I'm looking at the box. I know there's this defender over here on the right side of the 40. So I'm going to run away from him and just see if I can get 5 yards. And I don't, because great blocking. So here we go, 2nd and 10. Something like trips here. Now, if I want to, you know, run still and give that RPO look, I can do something like this here. I like the numbers advantages. No, not really. Actually, I don't. So I won't run the RPO here. We can run the shallow cross. We can run our X under. I'm probably going to run X under, see if I can take advantage of the space here in the middle. I know we're either looking at like man coverage or we're looking at like a cover 2 over or something. So we got man. I'm just going to dish it off to my back here in the flat. See if we can make a play. Boom. We're setting up 1st and 10 inside the 30. We're at the 30. So here we go. 1st and 10. On an instance like this, I might want to get aggressive if I like what I see and just take, you know, a deep strike into the end zone. Something like this here. Otherwise, I see my numbers advantage over here. 2 guys over here for 3. I'm just going to kind of take what they give me, get it out here into space. Boom, I'm down to like the 14-yard line. 1st and 10, inside the 15. Now, I would have flipped that play. I wouldn't have run, you know, that bunch play to the short side. I would have ran it to the wide side. But I'm not going to run this here. I'm going to prepare for pressure. If this corner here comes on a blitz, I'm reading Harry first. If this corner comes down, I'm going to throw that post. If he doesn't, then I'm going to go ahead and look to the right quick. See this? So basically, I'm... Oh, excuse me. Something here where I can just try and get a playmaker into space. They drop off. Boom, 1st and goal inside the 3. Now, inside the goal line, I can go heavy. I can go 2 tight ends. But what I prefer to do is I want to spread you out on the goal line. I enjoy doing that. You know, if Tanner Morgan wasn't hurt, I could run a zone read, which is always nice. Something with like a running back coming out of the backfield just to quickly get it. Otherwise, something like this touch pass. Just something simple.
Ready, break.
We're out here. We'll say we're on like the 2. And teams will come out playing, what do you call it? Like goal line versus me. And then that's so easy to beat. But here we go. I can just do a quick little jet sweep to Kittle, see if he can just beat to the corner. This is essentially a run play to me. So, should have kept running to the corner, but he probably scores there. I think that's a touchdown animation. But what I'll really want, and what I should do, is try and get to the corner, but it doesn't work. So, that's first drive. Say now we are... you know, trailing, that's going to adjust things. Down in distance, 1st down, you want to just kind of stick to your base stuff. Pick up 4 or 5 yards,
get into second and manageable. Second and manageable, if you want to take shots down the field, do it if it's second and short. Otherwise, do something that where you can get past the sticks or close to them, so it's a third and short. Third and short, you got your, you can run inside, you can run outside, you can quick pass. I wouldn't recommend deep. If you're ever in 4-down territory, run the ball on 3rd down. Just do it. You don't need a sack or an incompletion. If it's 3rd and 6 and you're like, all right, hey, we're in 4-down territory here. There's 5 minutes to go. We're down by 4. We're in 4-down territory. Run the ball. Unless the time is just like GG and you physically can't, just run it. Especially, say, we'll go this. Say we get an opponent, I don't know, something simple. They don't just have regular, oh, there we go.
Let's go now. 18 Gator.
We'll move it back. Say it's 3rd and 8. So we'll go 5, 6, 7, 8. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. I know I'm going to go for it on 4th down because I'm down by 5, down by, 4 or 6, whatever, where a field goal is not going to matter. I'm going to pick the best run lane that I have, which is running away from that backer probably. You can run to him if you want. Doesn't matter. He's not going to get picked up by a double team. So I want to run, just pick up yards. So if I am having to go for it on 4th down, I'd rather have it be 4th and 3 than 4th and 8. See how many yards I can pick up. What do you know? Boom, you get the first right there. Drive's going. If you know it's 4th down, 4-down territory, go or run the ball. Because the last thing you want is something like this here,
218, chop, shoot.
and you're just like, okay, no one's really open. He's no. Oh, I love this game. Pretend he drops it, because a contact drop or there's no one open. We'll go slants. No one's really open. You're just kind of like, incomplete pass, whatever. Something like that. Now you're on 4th and 8. So now you really have to press down the field, and another team can just bring heat. So, because see now here, 4th and 8, you're like, oh shit, I have nowhere to go. Turnover on downs. So you're always wanting to set yourself up closer to the sticks. So that's kind of my down and distance game planning. Every play I'm doing, I'm not designing to score a touchdown on it. When I call 4 verts, yeah, I'm looking for a cheap score because I can, just try and get the ball out quick, see if I can catch you napping, catch a receiver off the line of scrimmage. That's kind of, a mindset of an air raid, just to get a cheap 20 yards, whatever you want to call it. Not cheap as in cheating or unsim or anything, but to see if you can catch them lacking. But most of my stuff that way is just to simply just get towards the sticks. A 13-play, 75-yard drive that ends in 6 is the same thing as a 3-play, 75-yard drive that ends in 6. The longer you're on the field, the less time their offense is on the field to make a comeback. So, extend drives. Don't be frustrated on 2nd and 8 or 2nd and 10 that you pick up 5. 3rd and 5 is not bad. Hell of a lot better than 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 8. But I'm going to go play Skyrim.